My name's Rosy, and I didn't catch your name before. Okay. Well, is that your name that you picked out for yourself when you got down here, or was that your name from when you were in the land of the living and stuff? Ah, I see. Well, it's very nice to make your acquaintance today, and welcome to your job orientation. No, I'm not officially your supervisor or anything like that. More just co-workers, but we don't have a lot of extra staff. There's no HR department or anything like that, you know. But there's something you need to understand before we get into kind of the logistics of the job and such. You see, you and I, we're working directly under, the whole leader of the Underworld. Like, the person in charge, you understand that? Miss Boogiewoman, right? No. I love Miss Boogiewoman. She's very nice. She's a kind lady. She's a very, very kind lady and everything, but, she's got a very dark side. Miss Boogiewoman. She's got a very dark side, and she gets very angry, when people make a lot of mistakes and things. And also, if you disrespect her in any way, things are not going to go so well for you. So, before you fully commit to the job and, working directly under Miss Boogiewoman, as I said, you gotta just agree that you're not gonna do anything, silly or anything intentionally. But even unintentionally, she doesn't care. She gets very angry very easily. You gotta be very careful. You gotta be careful, okay? That's all I'm really trying to say to you right now. You gotta be very careful and just kind of do your job. Don't, poke around places where you want to poke around. Don't make complaints about your job or anything. Just take the job and just do it, and don't mess up. That's basically all I'm trying to say. Now, what we essentially are Miss Boogiewoman's errand people. We are some of the few people who actually get to go upstairs into the land of the living. Oh, something must be going on downtown. So much crime. You would think people give that up when they pass and stuff. No, there's still a lot of crime down here in the Underworld. But anyway, like I was saying, we are Miss Boogiewoman's errand people. So we get to go upstairs, right? And don't worry about your appearance. I know we kind of stay the way we looked when we pass and stuff forever. But when we go upstairs, we magically look normal. We completely blend in. No one's gonna think, oh, who's that person with a face like this? No one's gonna see me like this. We are instantly disguised when we cross that border. So don't worry about that. But what we do is we go around, we observe the people, the living people, and it's our job to kind of estimate who's gonna go soon, and in some rare occasions and direct orders from Miss Boogiewoman who kind of should go. But our main job is just kind of snooping around a bit and finding out who's probably gonna go. Kind of tag them in a way. And just so you understand, you gotta be very careful about who you say is gonna go soon or not, because there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be filed for each one. And I'm sure you're not the type of person who just wants to sit around all day filing paperwork. No, we want the adventure of this job. That's mostly what we want to do. It's the fun part, and the paperwork part is really terrible. So we gotta be very careful who we say is gonna go soon, okay? Now, another thing that we do is when there is someone who, it looks like it's gonna be their time soon. And sometimes they have a certain glow to them. Or you just can feel it inside that unfortunately this person's gonna pass on very soon. What we do is we take something of theirs, a trinket, an object, a piece of jewelry, just something that encompasses them, that represents this individual, and we take it back here and we file it. Now, when we take something, it's automatically kind of like a copy of it, so the person doesn't actually lose this item, so they're not going to notice that we took anything, because it's kind of like the impression of that item that we're taking. And it's kind of our way of filing and then, keeping track of who's going to go. And it's rather exciting going upstairs to the land of the living, because most people here, when they go and they come down here, they're there forever. And the jobs that they do all take place down here, and they never get to go upstairs. They never really get to see what's the going on and what's new in technology and, whatever. If there's a new flavor of Lay's potato chips or anything like that. They're left clueless. But also, people get very curious down here, always asking me questions. So, who's the president? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? What's this like? How have things changed up there? People ask me all the time, and it does get annoying. And really, we're not supposed to tell them. They're supposed to be completely in the dark about what's going on up there. I mean, the whole point is to move on while we're down here, essentially. And so answering their questions about what's going on up there doesn't help them fully move on from, realizing that they've passed and they've died, and, this is their new home now. So you're going to get a lot of questions. A lot of people are going to, come up to you and ask you things, but you're just going to have to ignore all of them, okay? And I know it's hard. I like to please people too. I like to tell people, what is going on upstairs, but we really can't. We really can't tell them anything. And that's another thing. If Miss Boogiewoman finds out that you're telling the world down here about what's going on, what's the new iPhone like, she's not going to like that. And I already told you. She has a dark side, and you do not want to get on her bad list at all. So just keep your mouth shut, basically. Now, for demonstration purposes during this orientation, I'm going to show you a few of the things that I brought back down here from last time. I went upstairs into the world of the living. These are the objects. Remember, these are the objects of the people who are going to go soon. But they're just impressions, so I didn't actually steal anything. For example, these are two little pink hearts, made of glass or something. I didn't just take one because they seem to go together, a pair, so I took both of them. But, there was this really sweet old lady, and I think she's maybe in the 80s, late 80s. And I think she's sick. And she had kind of the glow that I was talking about earlier. She doesn't have much time left. So I took these hearts, which were hers, sweet old lady. And these will be filed like all the other objects. And that's another thing. If you get caught keeping any of these items for yourself, that's a big no-no. And you'll instantly be fired, and then worse. Trust me, worse. I've seen it happen to someone else. I've had many partners over the years, and it's funny, a lot of them don't last very long, so I've got high hopes for you. But yes, these were from an old lady. The next thing, they're these little glass jewels. They're for decoration purposes. People put fake plants in them or whatever in their house. But there's this young lady, 40s maybe, and she works down at a craft store. And these were hers. She bought them from work one day, and she too had this death glow. Unfortunately for her. But she'll find out soon enough when she does get down here. That's not so bad. It's not so bad down here. You make friends. You get a job. It's actually pretty normal. It's pretty much like the real world. Except everyone's, moved on and passed away. But at least there's something to do to pass the time. But like I was saying, there's this nice young lady. She works at a craft store. And these were hers. I just thought this would be a little something I could take to represent her. She likes art and just making things. She just loves making things. I can see it in her eyes too. It's very nice. But yeah. What's that? Did someone come looking for you too before you moved down here? Oh, sure. In fact, I think it was myself. I remember you from up there, and it wasn't so long before. Oh, you wouldn't recognize me, like I said. Once we go up there, we instantly get disguised to look like normal people, and it's always different. We always look different. It just happens naturally. We don't have to do anything to make it happen. It just does. So you wouldn't remember me. I don't remember what I took from you. But it's filed away somewhere. And that's the perk of working here. You could go find that information out. Most of these people have no idea about the event and, what happened to them. But you could find out. You've got access to all the files. But again, don't be answering questions for anyone who asks for information. Just keep them all in the dark. That's the best way, the cleanest way. Just don't tell them anything. It does not help them move on. And that's what we want them to do. Yes. Now, the next thing is the box for a lens, like a camera lens, There was this 92-year-old gentleman in the park taking pictures of the birds. He definitely had the glow, and this is a bigger thing. Normally, for little trinkets and stuff to take, because it's just easier to carry. Especially if on a trip you're collecting, 10 to 20 things, for people. But I don't know. I just thought this was kind of representative of him. He seems like a photographer. But this 92-year-old gentleman, he had the glow. Poor man. But not so poor. It's nice down here, right? When you say accommodations are alright. It's not the best. It is the underworld, after all, and it can be a little dark and damp, but it's alright. But yes, 92-year-old gentleman. They're living so much longer these days, back in the day, you know, a few supervisors ago, someone who's been down here for like 100 years or something, she was saying, a lot of people are dying in the 40s a lot, but now people living in the 90s, some early hundreds. It's crazy. Unfortunately, I didn't get to live very long in my life, but it was long enough. I don't remember much. I'm pretty good at pushing out my stuff, and I've moved on enough. But it is still interesting to see the real world. When we go up there, see how it's changed. So this camera lens, like I was saying, from a 92-year-old man. Now he got to live a nice long life, but he hasn't gone yet. But very soon, his glow was pretty strong and everything. Little flashlight. So a little flashlight. See? And this flashlight belonged to a 25-year-old. He was on a camping trip. At least he was for now. He's gonna go soon. He had one of these, He was very prepared for the woods, the wilderness, the outdoors. But I took his little flashlight. And remember, it's just an impression. He still has the real thing there. So here, this is his flashlight. He has the glow. He had the glow too. Sometimes I think this job is pretty sad. Seeing people, the last days, weeks, whatever, it's gonna happen soon when I see the glow. And it's just sad. It just reminds you of death. But then you remember, you too passed. It's over with. This is it now, forever. Unless you've done something really bad and you get sent to this horrible place. It's like nothing. That's only if you're bad here. I've seen the Boogiewoman send a couple people there. This place of just nothing. But other than that, down here is pretty nice. So, at least they're going to a good place. The Underworld. So this was this young man's flashlight. Yes, this will be filed away. Lots of paperwork to do, my gosh. That's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. So much paperwork. It's endless. It's like we're either going upstairs and looking around, getting these items and stuff, or it's paperwork, day in, day out. Not very exciting, but it's an important job. And some of the jobs down here are not nice. Not very nice at all. So I consider myself one of the fortunate ones, and I'm pretty grateful for this job. So I'm not going to complain, but it is too much paperwork. They should shorten the length of the form for each person. It takes a long time. The next item that I got on this last trip was a necklace. It's a very fancy necklace. Look at all the detailing. Like, my goodness. Roses and little jewels and stuff. Very nice, very nice. This also came from a 20-year-old. It was a girl, a woman. Yeah. She's a soccer coach. But unfortunately, she had the glow. She had that glow. the death glow. You wouldn't think something related to death would be represented in a glow, but it is. It's kind of red and hazy. It's sad. But like I said, we all go sometime, so it's okay, and it's okay down here. But yes, this is the necklace of a 20-year-old coach. And that's so young. And I know I was young, but it's young. It's a young time to go. It's too soon. If you ask me, but I've seen much younger. Much younger. It's sad. So this was this nice lady's necklace that she had. A little thing that represents her. And that's the type of object you want to go for, okay? So when we're up there, look for something that kind of embodies the person. She wears this a lot. Not while she's coaching, of course, but the other times, you know. Now when she's coaching, she wears a whistle, right? But yeah, this was her necklace. How about I show you one more item so you just get an idea, okay? And then we'll move on with the rest of the orientation, alright? A leather journal. There was a writer, 35. He was also in the park that day. It was like a double whammy. Two people in one spot. But he was there writing in his journal. So obviously I naturally thought a journal would represent this writer very well. Now unfortunately, when I took the journal, as it's just an impression, his writing's not in it. It's a blank journal. But that's okay. It still represents him, doesn't it? A writer. The writer's journal. That was a good thing to take, I think so. And that's another thing. If you take little silly trinkets that really don't embody that individual, the Boogiewoman doesn't like that either. The Boogiewoman wants something that really represents this person very well. Because you see, she uses these items when she goes out and does a grim reapering stuff. She uses the item to find the person. And if the item embodies this person enough, it kind of sends out a signal and she's able to find them when it's time, you know. That's really the whole purpose of finding these objects. So the writer's journal. But yeah, I think you kind of get the idea of things, you know, you want to take. Now look, I know you're new and it's a new job and you haven't even been down here for very long. You're a new person in the whole Underworld. And it's a lot to take in. It's so different from, you know, what we've known our whole previous lives. It's completely different. But just know it's okay. It's okay down here and it's going to be okay. And you seem like a very capable person and I think that you're going to do just fine in this job. And besides, we always go together. So you won't be stuck by yourself except in a rare occasion. But it's really just fine. Just going out, doing the people watching, collecting the items and the paperwork. And that's all there really is to it. Although every month we kind of have to give a special report across the Underworld board and, you know, the Boogiewoman in charge. She's there too, presenting all of our findings and such. But other than that, it's a pretty easy job and you're gonna do just fine. Now, the next part of orientation is a tour of the of our office and kind of a demonstration on how we get back up to the world of the living. So, this part here And so we're gonna go and take a little tour, alright? Yeah, you're gonna do just fine. It's fine. Well, anyway, let's go on that tour, okay? Alright, let's go.